Hello guys, 2D Man here, and I'm here to discuss a pretty serious topic. So, I was unaware, until recently I've been keeping up with the community, that there's been an uproar about Raiden Shogun's kit and her in general. A lot of people are complaining about her not having enough DPS, as well as just being a poor support and battery, and that basically C6 official can practically do the same thing while being better, because she doesn't provide enough DPS at C0 to justify using her ult and wasting that time. Now I know it seems kind of petty, because literally what it's going to do is make you clear like Abyss or whatever 10 seconds shorter, or whatever it is. But the problem here, the main issue, is that there's two arguments, right? And there's a battle between the communities, is whether they should buff her, or if buffing her is encouraging power creep. And those are the two arguments. And the big problem is, people are saying, and this is a wound being carried over from Yoimiya, who was, from most people's perspective, she was viable, but she definitely had some parts of her kit that could have been a lot better. And not only that, but this is carried over to a character that a lot of people are pulling on. Like, and I mean a lot of people. And the problem, and the other thing is, like, the Chinese community is also uproaring and very mad about this too. Because at C0, let me pull out some charts here for you guys. So, I've been keeping up with people on the Reddit, and Hazin right here actually makes a really good point. And he actually compares basically the whale version of Venti with Venti's gun with the free-to-play, like, low-budget spender version of Venti, right? And it's about a 24% DPS increase. And the same goes for Chun-Li with his C6 R1 Homa versus, you know, C0 R1 Deathmatch. It's about a 30% increase. But if you look at C2, just C2, with R1 of her weapon, it's a 76% overall decrease in DPS in comparison to the C0 R5 catch. Now this could be a big issue, and the problem is people are thinking that maybe her kit was intended to maybe be like C2's, and that she's kind of feeling out like she's missing a portion of her kit, and that this isn't justifiable, and that it's encouraging a lot of people to spend, otherwise they have nothing. And so people are thinking, should we boycott it or not? Well, a lot of people are just wailing to kind of like deal with the issue. But that could encourage MiHoYo to create characters that are just going to be bad like this in the future. Now, I'm not saying she's particularly bad, but I'm just saying that this could be an issue, especially with Yoimiya and now Raiden, that this could be something that could be a reoccurring issue. There have also been some other things, like, you see the memes, like, everywhere, like, people getting excited about damage, but then noticing, you know, it's hidden behind a constellation. And that's never, like, a good sign. And I like to say, and I just kind of, like, realized, I like to say that Raiden is kind of, like, the child of the Archons. And the reason why I say child is because child at C0, he's kind of locked. His real gameplay is kind of locked behind constellations. But his is really locked behind C6. Whereas Raiden's is locked behind basically C2. So I feel like the real way that she was meant to be played was at like C2. Where that's where she feels like you're actually playing the real character. Now I don't even have it. I just have C0 and I have her weapon. But I can't imagine people that don't even have her weapon, like, what it's gonna feel like. I mean, she's still good, but it's not like... I do understand where people are a little upset, and so it's actually causing a lot of people to spend a lot. So here's the chart of the spending, okay? As you can tell, the increases, and on day 3 we even have a larger, almost the same as day 1. So what I'm thinking is people are starting to realize that if you don't get C2, She's just not nearly as good. And it's causing more people to spend. And why this could be an issue is because they keep making characters like this. It's just going to force everybody to pay. And free-to-play are going to be stuck in a bad situation, and so are low spenders. Whales are going to be whales, so to them it's not that big of an issue, or as much of an issue. I mean, it's still an issue, but it's going to be really rough. That's kind of a bummer. The other thing is, she is Electro, and Electro just never got buffed. There's even more jokes about the Electro element. Somebody made a meme. And the thing is, people are going to try to just buy their way out of fixing the Electro element, because really, I don't know if they'll ever buff it. I've been wanting a buff for this element since the beginning of the game, and we never got it. And the other problem is, Beto's ult doesn't even work with Raiden's ult. So you can't work those together. So the best thing that I found is working Lisa to get that defense red from her passive with Thrilling Tales to try to optimize my damage from my Raiden. That's pretty much what you could do to try to get a sugarcoat version of the Constellation too. Now I'm gonna try to roll, and I'm not gonna try to spend. I'm not planning on spending anymore, but I do want to get more constellations of her. I do find that getting stacks for her ulti is actually a lot harder than I anticipated. You can run comps like I do right here to amplify her damage, but even then, it's still pretty rough. I mean, I've learned to deal with it and what to do, but for people that don't have like these kind of characters, I don't know what you're gonna do, because I don't know. It's definitely like tough.
Blitz. Try not to enjoy this too much. Illusion shattered.
Like even then, I don't even. I mean, it works, but now I have ulti, and then her in Abyss is gonna be tricky, but. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? You guys think they're actually gonna... We have another Archon issue? I think this issue's actually kind of more... it's probably just as bad as the Chun-Li issue people had at the beginning. Though I thought Chun-Li was fine because he added a lot of shield support. I think Raiden might be okay, but... I don't know. It would be nice if they somewhat... buffed Electro a little bit, because I feel like kind of I didn't even hit. And it is nice that she amplifies the other burst damages characters burst, but I just feel like she doesn't have her. She's a little clanky if you're trying to run main DPS. I think she's fine as a support. I just think if you're trying to do any kind of like... Well, there are characters that can probably do what she does better. Slightly. She's the best battery in the game, but her burst is a little... The numbers just aren't... Especially from a C0... If you don't even have the weapon, from a C0 perspective, it's just probably an overall DPS loss if you just... Instead of just running... like our previous battery, which was just visual. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Of course, I'm going to play the characters I like, so I don't really care. But, it's an interesting issue. We'll see what happens, because I heard, like, the Chinese community is threatening about pulling out lawsuits against MiHoYo, and about misdirecting. There was some translation problems with this, and that's why we received 100 primos in the mail not too long ago. People are spending money. If they make a change, it might be too late. Somebody suggested maybe, what if they give you 30% shred at the base, and then C2 would give you another 30? But this just seems like too much of a drastic increase. Her increase based off her whaling is like ridiculous. And especially at C2. It's like Eula, but if Eula was worse at C2, but instead... no. It's like if Eula was worse at C0, but her... Like, this was over here instead at C2. So it's like they targeted low spenders to try to make this character more viable, is what it seems like. It's very fun playstyle, and it's very tempting too. So I just want to hear what your guys' thoughts. Are you guys happy with Raiden? What do you guys think? I think Electra needs a buff that might fix the issue in general, and it would help overall. But I don't think it would help Raiden particularly. Just it would help her, but it would also help everybody else. So it's not really a buff. It's a buff to Electra, so it's like an indirect buff to her. And then they got to do something about Yoimiya. It would be nice to kind of help her out a little bit as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. And then we've got Kokomi down the road, and people are worried about that. So that's a whole other kind of conversation. But anyways, just so you guys know, we were able to get the catch to R5. I just need to get some of the enhancement material so I can get it to level 80. So I can compare it with all the other polearms. And so I'm going to be doing a video with all of these 3. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. So look forward to that video. I'll try to release it as soon as possible. But yeah, good luck if you're trying to get this weapon. It's going to take a lot of fishing. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you later.